What's going on? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I have a big video for you, but before we get into, someone asked me on my Instagram Q&A today, can you take a shot of tequila without pulling a face? And I've never heard that expression before. I think she means, can I take a shot of tequila without making a weird face, which I highly doubt, but I figured why not, I'll give it a shot. So I got the tequila, got these Houdini shot glasses from across the street because we didn't own shot glasses. Not really a big drinker. Good marketing though, Houdini. Making the contents within just disappear. I don't know. So I'm gonna do that right now, but before we do, I got a package, and I've seen all of these YouTubers opening up packages on videos and making it look super cool. So I figured I would open this package. My doorman, Peter.
What up, boy? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. He found out that my fiance and I were moving away from New York City in about a month. So I'm assuming this package isn't from him, but he wrote a little note on it. He's like, I can't believe you're leaving from Peter. But let's see what's in this package. So assuming this is not a random gift from Peter, I think I know what these are. American flag pants. My buddy Rick, he texted me a gift the other day, I'll put it up right here, of a scene from Napoleon Dynamite where this like Taekwondo instructor is wearing these pants.
Take a look at what I'm wearing, people. You think anybody wants a roundhouse kick to the face while I'm wearing these bad boys? Forget about it.
And then I told him that I was gonna buy them and he didn't believe me, and I texted him the receipt from Amazon. This is harder to open than I expected. That's embarrassing. Oh yeah, let's go. All right, I gotta try these on. 1, 2. Oh, take a look at these. Oh, these are sick. Now that I'm all decked out in my American flag pants, let's see if I can take a shot of tequila without making a face. Let's see. Oh, this smells terrible. I really don't think I'm gonna be able to take this without making a face, but let's see how it goes. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. My buddy Mike is here. That was pretty good, right?
That was really good.
I didn't make a face with that.
I was not expecting that.
Oh man, look at that mustache. That's looking good, huh?
The shot was better than that.
All right. I feel like I should do one more just to really I'm gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more shot. Oh, hold on. Yeah, all right. And then I'll do another one for Instagram because this isn't even being recorded for Instagram. So it's gonna be 3 shots before 2 p.m. Before 1:15 p.m.
And then we're still about to lift.
And then we're about to work out. Okay, here we go. I'll come up real close to the camera this time. 3, 2, 1. Let's get to the rest of the video. All right, I'm showered, I'm ready to go, I'm fully changed. Actually, still wearing my Rex Kwon Do pants. They're surprisingly stretchy. They're super comfortable. So I'll put a link to these pants in the description of the video if you wanna buy yourself a pair. Either way, the rest of this video is gonna be geared towards answering a question someone asked me on Instagram, which if you don't follow me, you should do that here. But someone asked me in my Instagram Q&A, they said, Jordan, what are the top 3 reasons that you think people struggle with their weight loss or fail with their weight loss altogether? I thought it was a really good question. Figured I'd do it in a YouTube format, almost like in this ad-lib format where you fill in the blank, because a lot of people, they don't watch the full video and then they're like, well, you should have discussed this. And I'm like, I did discuss this, you just didn't watch the full video. So make sure you watch the full video to understand the top 7 reasons why I think people struggle or fail with their weight loss. And before the keyboard warriors come in and say, oh, Jordan, oh, you missed such an important point. These are not all of the reasons people struggle or fail, but I think these are the top 7, or at least 7 of the most important reasons. So with that being said, I'm gonna get into number 1. Before you dive in, you know I'm gonna ramble. In my YouTube and my podcast, I talk a lot. I try and keep it brief, but I talk a lot. There's a lot to say about this. So make sure you're comfortable. Maybe grab a protein shake. I got myself a coffee. Make sure you enter to win a free month in my inner circle. If you put hashtag Sorting Hat Squad in the comment section, I pick 3 people every video to win a free month in the inner circle. So do that. Let's get into the video. All right, so number 1 on this list, and arguably the biggest reason why people struggle and fail to lose weight over the long term, is because they're doing things that are drastic and unsustainable. Now, I know this sounds like it's common knowledge, but even though it's common knowledge, people still fucking struggle with this, and it could be any number of things, right? I know a lot of people who they start trying to lose weight and they'll eat like 500 calories a day, 800 calories a day, 1,000 calories a day, just something so drastic, so unsustainable. They're literally starving themselves, and then they're surprised they can only do it for 3, 5, 7 days before before they end up binging and gaining all the weight back. Oftentimes people will do juice cleanses or detox teas or keto diet or whatever the fuck it is. They're doing something that they can't sustain long term. And the reason that they're doing this is because they're trying to lose weight as quickly as possible. That's their main goal. If your goal is to lose weight as fast as you possibly can, then you're gonna do something fucking stupid. You're gonna radically reduce calories, you're gonna completely eliminate a macronutrient, you're gonna do a stupid detox cleanse or a juice cleanse or whatever the fuck you're doing, because your goal is to lose weight as quickly as possible, not as sustainably as possible. You need to listen very closely. If the method you're using to achieve weight loss is not sustainable long-term, then the results you get from that method will not be sustainable long-term. If the methods are not sustainable, the results are not sustainable. So if you're going to try to lose weight, you need to make sure you're doing something you can sustain. Now, the catch-22 to that is, it's not gonna be as fast as you want it to be, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be fast. Faster is not always better. That's what she said. But seriously, just because you lose weight faster doesn't fucking make it better. It's not a competition. It's not a race. The slower you can do it, the more sustainable you can do it, the better. Who cares if you can lose weight in 10 days, 20 days, 30 days if you gain it all back and more at the end of it? I'd rather you take a year, 2 years, 3 years to lose it while enjoying the time that you do it, so then you can actually sustain it for the rest of your life. So if what you're doing is drastic and unsustainable, and you would tell yourself, you have a real honest conversation with yourself and ask, can I maintain this for the rest of my life? If you cannot honestly say that you can maintain it forever, then you gotta do something else. Now moving on to number 2, people are living and dying by the fucking scale. And what a waste of life. What an absolute waste of time, waste of energy, waste of emotions, waste of life to live and die by what the scale is telling you on a day-to-day basis. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad idea to weigh yourself. I actually think weighing yourself when you do it properly and logically, it can be very helpful. When you get your data over time, you can see what trend you're following, so you can see if you're actually making the progress you'd like to be making. I do not agree with the people who've been demonizing the scale, saying, bash it with a baseball bat, the scale is evil, you should never step on the scale is evil and bad, and blah, 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 blah. I think they're actually out of their fucking mind, and they have a bad relationship with the scale, and they're pushing that on everybody else. I think the scale used properly can be incredibly helpful and incredibly important, but if you're basing your self-worth and if you're basing all of your progress on a single weigh-in, your shit is broken. You can't look at any one individual weigh-in and say things are working or things are not working. It's impossible. There isn't a single weigh-in out of all of your weigh-ins that can definitively tell you what's gonna happen. Your scale, your weight is going to fluctuate for any number of reasons. Maybe you ate more salt the day before. Maybe it's your menstrual cycle. Maybe you lifted heavy. Maybe you ate later than usual. There are so many reasons and things that can affect the scale far beyond simply fat gain and fat loss. For you to freak the fuck out just one individual day because the scale went up or when the scale went down, that's a problem. And if you can't do that, then you need some time away from the scale. If you can't look at the scale objectively, take some time away from it before you come back to it. Now, a quick story. One mistake that as a coach I used to do with my clients, over time when I was working with clients online, if they would email me and the scale went down, I'd be very encouraging. I'd be like, this is awesome, you're crushing it, great work. But when the scale went up and they had a little freak out, I'd say, hey, listen, don't worry about it. The scale does that, it's not a problem. The issue that I didn't recognize at the time was if I'm positively reinforcing the weight loss, then of course there's going to be a negative response to the weight gain fluctuations. So over time, I stopped reinforcing the weight loss positively, and it was as neutral as I could possibly make it. And this is what you need to do every time you step on the scale. Sometimes you're going to step on the scale and it's going to go down, and you need to do your best to just look at it as data. Cool, awesome, another number, no emotions attached. When the scale goes up, maybe you had more carbs, maybe it's your menstrual cycle, maybe you lifted heavy, maybe just for some fucking reason the scale went up for no reason other than it just did. No emotion. Cool. Another data point. You check it off, you keep weighing in day after day, and you collect enough data so over the course of a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, you can look at your graph and you can see all the fluctuations, but each individual fluctuation doesn't matter because the trend over time is really telling you the whole story. Now, I also think you should take measurements and you should take pictures and look at your clothing size, see how you feel, track your consistency, see how strong you're getting in the gym, get all different forms of measurement to really get the whole picture. But if you're going to use the scale, which I think is a very good idea, because realistically, a tremendous amount of research shows that people who consistently weigh themselves have an easier time maintaining a healthier body weight. If you're going to use the scale, I strongly urge you to be objectively aware of your emotions with it and call yourself out on it. If one of your best friends weighed themselves and they had a 2.5-pound fluctuation upward and they called you, they were freaking out, oh my God, my scale went up 2.5 pounds, what am I gonna do? You wouldn't say like, oh yeah, you're a real fucking fat ass, you should just quit altogether. You'd say, listen, the scale fluctuated up, it's normal, get back on track, not a big deal. Do that to yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat your best friend. Just because the scale went up a little bit doesn't mean you failed and your progress is ruined and what's the point, you should just quit. The scale fluctuates up, cool. Get back on track, just keep going. Scale goes down, you have a big whoosh, cool, doesn't matter. Keep going. A lot of people will look at when the scale goes downwards as a justification to be like, oh nice, I'm crushing it, I'm just gonna go binge for the next 3 days. That's also stupid. Your weight is just a data point. It doesn't say anything about you, your self-worth, and each individual weigh-in means absolutely nothing compared to the larger picture of data over time. So stop living and dying by the fucking scale and just use it as another form of measurement, not as a value or as a predictor of your self-worth. All right, so number 3 is the most important one on this list. Out of all 7, number 3 is far and away the most important. And actually, you know what? Fuck this list of 7. We could make a giant list of 1,000 of the most common reasons why people struggle with their weight loss, and number 3 would be the most important. Far and away the most important, the most impactful. I'm gonna explain why. What number 3 really boils down to is this. It's when people say fuck it when they have one bad meal, or they have one bad day, or they have one bad week, whatever it is. It's when they have one treat, whatever you wanna call it. It's when they think they screwed up and they just say fuck it and quit. It's when they justify quitting because they think they made a mistake. And what a terrible, terrible way to live. Not just a way to lose weight, but what a terrible way to live. Imagine in any scenario in life if you just gave up at one sign of making a mistake. Not to mention, if we're talking about weight loss here, God forbid someone goes out and they have a couple slices of pizza. God forbid you go out on a Friday night and you have some chips and guac, you have an enchilada, you have a couple margaritas, then you go home, you have some dessert. Like, God forbid you fucking treat yourself every once in a while, right? It's mind-blowing to me that people will then use that as a justification to say, oh, well, I ruined all my progress, so I might as well binge and binge and binge because this one meal or this one day or this 1 week of vacation completely ruined all of my progress. It makes no sense to me, and it's completely fucking people up. There are people who will be crushing it with their nutrition, crushing it with their training. They have one day that maybe they go over their calories or they have some foods they didn't want or expect, and then all of a sudden they're just devastated and they use it as a justification to quit altogether. What the fuck are you doing? You're not gonna slash the other 3 tires in your car just because you got one flat. It makes no sense. Not to mention, there are some real benefits to having days in which you just go over your calories, you eat some of your favorite foods. You don't have to be perfect all the time. I would rather you be 80% consistent with your nutrition than 100% consistent. Because at 80%, you can enjoy yourself, you can have your favorite foods, you can have days where you go over your calories, God forbid. Whereas 100%, that's prison. No one wants to be 100% consistent all the time. You can't be 100% consistent all the time. It's completely unsustainable. There's no way that you can expect to live a happy, enjoyable life, traveling all over, seeing your friends and family, enjoying the holidays, birthdays, whatever. You can't do that and be 100% consistent with your calories, meticulously weighing and tracking every single fucking thing every day. What are you doing? Relax, enjoy yourself. There are people, think about this, this is really important to consider. There are people who spend their entire life not working out, not eating well, they get significantly overweight, and after 20, 30, 40, 50 years of living life very unhealthily, sedentary, significantly high body fat, they're at dangerous levels. Their doctors are like, you're gonna die if you don't make a change. Who after years and years and years, they finally decide to make a change. They get super healthy, they lose a lot of body fat, they get strong, they feel confident, they change their nutrition, and in a matter of years, they've completely transformed their life. And you're gonna sit here and fucking tell me and try and convince yourself that because you went to Cancun for a week and had a vacation and enjoyed some enchiladas and chips and guac, you ruined all your fucking progress? Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. You didn't fuck it up. It's impossible to fuck up unless you quit. That is the only way to fuck up. Stop slashing your other 3 tires because you got one flat. keep going. Fill that one tire up and keep going on your way. Enjoy yourself. Losing weight isn't supposed to be torture. It isn't supposed to ruin your entire life. If you have a higher body fat than you want, losing weight is supposed to enhance your life, supposed to make you healthier, more fit, have better endurance, help increase your strength and your confidence in yourself. If what you're doing is harming yourself and putting yourself in a prison in which you're only allowed to eat asparagus and celery and you have to weigh and measure your fucking ice cubes, you're doing it wrong. You can't fuck up unless you quit. That was a good one. All right, so I'm gonna try and keep this one brief, but basically people are doing too much cardio with the sole intent of trying to lose weight. Now, I love cardio. I'm a big fan of cardio. I got a Rogue Echo bike right behind this camera right now. Cardio is super important for your physical health, for your mental health, for your emotional health, for your heart health. Cardio is so, so important. I'm not a fan of the people who are saying don't do cardio because they're fucking idiots. You should do cardio. But cardio should be done either because you enjoy it and or because it's good for your health, not with the sole intent of trying to lose weight. And I think the reason a lot of people do cardio because they think it's better for weight loss is because they're chasing a feeling, right? They're chasing this feeling of sweating, heart going fast, working really hard, getting super tired. People, for whatever reason, are obsessed with this feeling of being drained, the feeling of just being completely devastated and wiped out after a workout. I've always found it odd that people brag about their trainers when their trainers just destroy them. They're like, oh, my trainer's the best. I throw up after every workout. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. Like, throwing up is your body's response to rejecting something. You shouldn't be bragging about it. And I think you should leave the gym feeling better than when you went in. Either way, cardio is a wonderful tool for health, for performance, for your mental health, emotional health, physical health, blah, 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 all of that. Cardio is not the main thing you should be doing for weight loss. Definitely do cardio, but if the majority of your exercise is cardio based and your goal is to lose weight, you're fucking shit up. The reality is cardio should be a part of your training, but not your whole training. You should include strength training. You should include mobility training. There are many things you should be including, strength, mobility, and cardio. But if all you're including is cardio, and if that's the majority of what you're doing, you're really messing things up. The reality is if you want to lose weight as sustainably as possible and as enjoyably as possible, start with your nutrition and strength training first, then add cardio as a supplement, not as the majority of what you're doing. Now, number 5, I'm gonna go in the complete opposite direction. Some people are gonna be like, oh my God, you're contradicting yourself. I'm not contradicting myself, I'm making an important point. There are many people who don't do enough cardio. And this is for the people who are out there, for the coaches who are out there who are like, you don't need to do any cardio. Cardio is stupid. I never do cardio and I'm shredded to bits. I'm like, why the fuck are you bragging about not doing cardio? Why are you bragging about not doing something that is so clearly good for your physical, emotional, and mental health? The amount of research showing that cardio, even just walking for 20 minutes, is beneficial for your heart health is staggering. So for people to be bragging and for health professionals to be bragging about not doing cardio because they can lose weight and lose fat without doing cardio is fucking stupid. Not to mention, obviously, if we're looking at the calories in, calories out discussion when it comes to weight loss, doing cardio and expending more energy can be helpful. Of course it's gonna be helpful. The issue is when people make it their entirety of their training, or they spend hours and hours and hours every week doing endless amounts of cardio specifically with the sole intent of trying to lose weight. I think there are many people, and especially for the smaller individuals, like I'm 5'4", 145 pounds. I'm not a big dude. For smaller people, men and women, doing cardio deliberately can actually help a lot, because if your calories are naturally gonna be lower because you're a smaller person like myself, then sometimes it helps to burn an extra 200, 300, 400 calories just doing cardio so you can eat a little bit more. I don't think it should be the main focus of your training, but if you're not doing any cardio, you're fucking up. Not just from a weight loss perspective, because that's really the last part of my concern here, you're fucking up from a health perspective. And we really have to start bringing health into the conversation, because health and fat loss are not the same thing. They're intertwined. There's like a Venn diagram of health and fat loss, and there's an overlapping period. But if all you're focusing is on fat loss, and you're not focusing at all on your health, you're not, like, you can lose fat while eating junk food. You can lose fat while eating Pop-Tarts and Twinkies and Big Macs. But just because you're losing fat doesn't mean you're getting healthier. You can lose fat without doing cardio, but you should still do cardio because it's really good for your health. All right, so now moving on to number 6. We've only got 2 more left, so stick with me. Number 6, the blank spot is weekends. Weekends are a poop show. when people restrict themselves so much during the week that by the time the weekend comes, they're like, oh, finally a reprieve, and they binge and they binge and they binge. And this is the type of person who doesn't understand why they're not making progress. This is the person who's not going out to eat Monday through Thursday. They're bringing their celery sticks into work. They're only eating carrots and celery, and they're thinking, oh, I'm crushing it. I'm so strict. I'm so good at my nutrition. But then the weekend comes, and Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, they just completely binge out, and they eat way more than they should, and they don't realize how much they're eating. So then by the time Monday comes, they weigh in, they freak the fuck out because the scale spiked up because they just spent the last 2.5 days binging. They don't know why the scale spiked up so much. So then they start over restricting again during the week. And so the cycle continues of over restriction Monday to Thursday, Friday to Sunday, then they just go all out and just completely fuck up everything they just did. This is why it's so important to do things that are not drastic and to do things that are very, very sustainable. Because when you do a sustainable thing over the week, when you're not too restrictive with it, then the weekend comes, you can enjoy yourself without feeling like you need a massive reprieve, without feeling like you're just urging to binge and binge and binge. By the time the weekend comes, you should absolutely enjoy yourself. You should absolutely be able to go out to dinner without feeling anxious or having anxiety about ruining all your progress. You should be able to go out and have fun and enjoy your favorite foods and even go over your calories without worrying about it. But if you're spending the entire week eating 500, 800, 1,000 calories, not going out to dinner with your friends because God forbid you're gonna ruin all your progress because maybe you don't know where the calories at what the restaurant are. If you're doing that all week, then by the time the weekend comes, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you really want to do your best for the weekends, make sure that your week is not overly restrictive. Another really important part here is a lot of people ask me how to set their weekend up for success. One of the reasons the weekends can be difficult is because there isn't much structure, right? Monday through Friday, there's more structure with work. Saturday, Sunday, maybe you can wake up later. My number one recommendation for this is start your Saturday morning and Sunday morning off with a meal that you're proud of. Just start it off with something that makes you feel good mentally and emotionally. Maybe it could just be an apple, maybe a glass of water. Start off with something that's gonna make you proud and make you feel good. It doesn't mean you can't go and enjoy yourself later in the day, maybe have a stack of pancakes or whatever it is. But when you start off doing something that makes you feel good, you're starting the day off with a success. And that way you'll feel a bit more confident in yourself and your ability to finish the weekend strong. All right, now number 7 and the last one for this video, which by the way, if you made it this far in the video, thank you, I really appreciate it. If it's been helpful so far, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps a lot with the algorithm and reaching more people. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. What do I mean by Karen did it? What's that mean? Well, basically, the number of people who I've worked with, whether it's in my one-on-one clients or inner circle members, who have said, well, I'm doing this because so-and-so at the office is doing it, or because my sister or my cousin or my brother or my uncle is doing it and it's worked well for them, is astonishing to me. And especially if it's something that they know won't work well for them. It's like, oh, well, you know, my Aunt Bessie is going gluten-free. Well, yeah, but Aunt Bessie is celiac, told to her by her doctor, and she has to go gluten-free. If you don't have a gluten sensitivity or you're not celiac, you don't have to eliminate gluten from your diet. Or I don't know, they're like Uncle Kyle is at the Thanksgiving dinner table only eating turkey because he's newly keto. And you're like, oh, cool, Uncle Kyle's doing it, so maybe I should too. Just because Karen or Kyle or whoever the fuck is doing something doesn't mean it's the right thing for you. And you have to be very aware of what works best for you. Now, I understand this only comes from trial and error. But the more objective you can be and the more honest you can be with yourself, and you can really go back to number 1 and ask yourself, is this sustainable? Are these methods sustainable? And the more you can honestly answer that question, the better off you're gonna be. Because remember, if the methods are not sustainable, the results you get from those methods will not be sustainable. So fuck Karen, fuck Kyle, fuck Aunt Bessie, whoever it is, don't worry about what they're doing. Focus on what's gonna work well for you and give it time. Be patient with it. Stop trying to do things as quickly as possible. Start trying to do things as sustainably as possible. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. I think the next video on this channel is going to be a moving vlog, moving away from New York City to somewhere I'm very excited about. I'll give you all the details in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.